Briahna Joy Gray was speaking with Norm Finkelstein. This was probably about a week ago at this point. This is not news, but we thought this was interesting because right at the end of the interview, Norm thought he would challenge Briahna on her support for Marianne Williamson. And Briahna did not take it well, to put it mildly. So let's take a look at this video here.
And I'll end with a word of criticism of you, though reasonable people can disagree. I'm just going to say my opinion. Don't get nervous. I'm not going to say something.
No, I'm just a little concerned about.
Norm Finkelstein is like the Columbo of the anti-woke left. Right before he's about to end the interview. And one more thing.
Oh, one more thing.
There's one more thing I want to bring up before we leave. Right? So here he goes.
About time, but go ahead.
Yeah. You keep speaking of Marianne Williamson as a significant candidate, a candidate who maybe you would support, and so on and so forth, because she's taken these positions, quote unquote. And to me, with all due respect, it's kind of laughable. Marianne Williamson has no record in politics.
I'm sorry, Norma. I really can't. I cannot. I'm just telling you honestly, I don't have the time to sit here and defend Marianne Williamson, and so I cannot let her be. No, I cannot let you say a bunch of statements that I'm likely going to want to push back against. We really do have to wrap. I'm sorry.
I'm just
okay. We pause for a second. So we were gonna cover this last week, and we just felt it wouldn't really be nice to do a segment kind of critical of Briahna while she was taking her forced to vote victory lap, which was well earned and well deserved. Yeah. And there's a lot that we admire Bri for. But and that's part of the reason why we didn't do this last week.
You're making up for it with this freeze. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, making up for this freeze. Yeah. So we didn't want to get into this. We didn't want to take a jab at her last week. But I got to say that is a pretty ridiculous reaction.
Right.
If you need to rap, and I don't know why you need to rap because they weren't live streaming or anything, but whatever. If you got to go, you could just say, hey, I take that criticism to heart. Maybe we'll talk about that next time. Thank you for being here. We really don't have time to get into that now, but, I respect your opinion. Whatever. I take the criticism as a comment, whatever. This, and she goes on even more. You want to play the rest? You want to add anything first?
Well, she's got this tendency, this woe is me thing. Like she's very put upon by this job because sometimes people push back on her in ways she doesn't like, and it's really mean. And God, I don't even know why I'm doing this. It's so terrible.
Yeah, for $35,000 a month, record 4 podcasts.
You remember she put out a bunch of tweets to that effect. I don't even know if I want to be doing this. For $35,000, I think you'll keep doing it. I bet you're going to keep doing it.
I don't see why you wouldn't. All right, here we go.
Yeah, you can cut it. Just leave that part out. I'm just saying that there's no guarantee, but when you look to a candidate, at least part of the left tradition, a candidate on the left had to have proven him or herself.
I think that's fine. Norm, it's irrelevant. She's not going to win the primary. So if you don't want to vote in the Democratic primary, you don't have to. I'm going to use my vote to vote for Marianne Williamson. I don't really understand why we're still talking about this on the left. I find it to be exasperating. Please don't vote for Marianne. I promise you, I don't care if you vote for Marianne. I don't care if anybody else votes for Marianne. I have a vote. I am living in D.C. I would rather use it to vote against Joe Biden. I'm not voting for RF Kennedy, so I'm going to vote for Marianne. And to me, that's logically obvious. But I'm not trying to persuade anybody of anything. But I don't know why everyone wants to talk me out of voting for Marianne. So God bless. Everybody do what you're going to do. I am going to do strategically what I think is useful, which is to register my discontent with the Democratic Party in the primary by voting for Marianne Williamson and then voting for our Cornel West in the general election. This seems to be the most obvious, least controversial statement in the history of left politics, but apparently I've stepped on a third rail.
Okay, the reason why it's not irrelevant...
And this is her martyr thing. This is her martyr thing. She I stepped on a third rail. Everyone's coming at me. You get paid very well for what you do, and this comes with the gig. For somebody who is admirably aware of her own privilege, she nonetheless cannot help to demonstrate it whenever she gets put upon, as in this case.
I also just have to add the reason why it's relevant, the reason why, your support for Marianne is not irrelevant is, very much signified by the events of the past 36 hours, right? Like if you're going to support a candidate with no chance to win, it is important to do so in a way that at least defines whatever movement you're trying to build on terms that we can all agree to. And Marianne Williamson, just like RFK, I mean, she's better than RFK on this. Everybody's better than RFK on this. But Marianne Williamson, like 99% of elected Democrats and Republicans in America. Netanyahu's better than RFK on this, right? Exactly. She's terrible on this issue. And obviously, Norm Finkelstein lost his career over taking a stand on this issue, right? And so that's why it's important. That's why it is important. Right. And the idea that there's anything strategic about registering your discontent with the Democratic Party, like the Democratic Party gives a fuck about your discontent or anybody else's discontent. If there's anyone in America who's best positioned to have understood this by now, it's Briahna Joy Gray. She worked on the Bernie 2020 campaign. Like, what don't you understand about they don't give a fuck?
They wipe their ass with your discontent.
Exactly. They don't fucking care.
Right? And another reason that it matters is, to borrow our friend Nick Cruz's favorite phrase, it presents the left as deeply unserious when you back a deeply unserious candidate like Marianne Williamson. What is she, on her third campaign manager now? It's the third campaign manager?
I think so, yeah.
There is no reason to doubt the report that came out from somebody who, took a great risk, I can't remember his name, by breaking his NDA and talking about what was really going on there and claiming that Marianne said ballot access is mythical stuff.
I forget the guy's name, yeah.
Does she have ballot access anywhere? I haven't seen anything to contradict what that guy said. So why are you even assuming you're going to be able to write her in? Listen, Briahna spends a lot of time talking about her own privilege. She does in this interview with Norm that comes up, actually. And, trying to be aware of it and trying to be conscious of it. And, that's all very admirable. If you're conscious of the fact that your platform and your privilege give you a fucking responsibility, you have a responsibility not to signal to the people who follow you that supporting this campaign is a good idea. That's why it matters. You want to talk, aside from what we've already said, why are you getting pushback? Because it's a reflection on your judgment and your character. That's why.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But we really do have to go, Norm. But I really do appreciate you joining me today, Norm. For people who want to hear more, please do check out, I'll burn that bridge when I get to it, Heretical Thoughts on Identity Politics, Cancel Culture, and Academic Freedom. You can find it wherever books are sold. And Norm, do you want to tell people where to find you or more of your work on the internet?
No, it's okay.
All right.
No,
okay.
See, she pissed him off.
I love this motherfucker.
It's good, yeah.
No, I gotta hang out with him. He lives in Coney Island.
Yeah, he lives right there. Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking crazy bastard. I always go there on my birthday. The next birthday, I'm gonna hang out with Norm Finkelstein. We're gonna put out pictures of me and him on the Cyclone.
If you ever wanted to screw me over, you could start a podcast with Norm. That would be a good one. No.
Yeah, no. I like you. Kid. I'll stick with you.
You probably already follow him on the internet, etc.
Oh,
on
yeah,
Twitter,
right. I guess you already
X, whatever
follow
we're
him.
calling it.
Yeah.
Take care of yourselves as always and keep the faith.
I mean, you could tell he was a little pissed off there. That's why he said no.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
That's why I love him, because he is such a like on principle. Fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to promote myself.
Right.
Fuck
I'm not
you
even
now.
Gonna try to sell a book. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So look, as anybody who watches the show knows, we have been completely perplexed about why there is such a slavish devotion among some people for Marianne with, she has no qualifications. There's all this horrific reporting. People keep leaving her staff. And then somebody from her inner circle leaked a video to us of one of their meetings. I think they were having a strategy session. And a lot of what we saw there explained this seemingly cultish devotion. We sent it to Jen Dyes. We haven't heard back from her yet. You know, she never answers our calls. She seemed to think the video was fake, but we're pretty confident in our source.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate and discouraging when we go, through these processes to get authentic video footage and hard evidence to support our theory, and to have it, just like dismissed out of hand like that. It's really disheartening. But here's the video that we have, and you guys judge for yourself whether or not you think this is real. So here's footage from Marianne World.
What I would say to you is, when you say you have a lot of Palestinian friends, how many Palestinian friends you have? I have a lot of Palestinian friends. You say you've talked to Palestinians. I have talked to Palestinians.
Now listen, on a personal level, I actually really like Bobby. And for what it's worth,
if you're not going to let me talk to the things you say, then there really is no point.
And so you touch something in people that honestly is more of like a spiritual thing. It's more of like an energy thing where people need to feel like there's something deeper in life. There's a greater...
You're doing a lot of mansplaining here, and you're telling me what is. You're asking me and then not giving me a chance to respond. So, and now more men are going to be laughing at me. So no, this is not working for me. There's a saying in AA: attraction, not promotion. I'm not going to be trying to manipulate anybody into seeing it the way I see it. I'm going to put out what I believe, and people will do what they want to do.
There you go.
And I think those were two staffers actually on the altar. Those were two of the staffers that reportedly quit. So I don't know what happened to them after that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What kind of NDAs they were under, or what we'll ever get to the bottom of that. So we're not saying there are no unknowns there, but sent it to Jen Dyes. She apparently does not believe in the veracity of that evidence for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but we'll just have to keep plugging away, I guess. Keep trying.
If anyone knows those young ladies, a wellness check might be in order.
That's right. And it is October. It is Halloween season, and so we do have to put in our horror film recommendation for each show. And so utterly coincidentally, our film recommendation for tonight's episode happens to be, Russell,
Satanic Panic, which is a great little kind of sleeper hit about a broke pizza delivery girl who winds up being pursued by Satanists who reveal that the way the rich maintain their wealth is through their pacts with Satan, but they need a virgin sacrifice, and she happens to be a virgin. It is a great class-oriented horror comedy satire.
Please clap.